Dim light, soft jazz, and the faint clink of cutlery. 4 men sat around a round table, the kind you could lean on when the talk got serious. They'd been friends for over a decade, college buddies turned husbands, turned tired grown men with stories too heavy for polite dinners. Tom was the one who started it. He swirled his whiskey and said quietly, "Boys, you ever done something you can't tell your wife?" There was a silence. Mark chuckled, but it sounded nervous. Luke raised an eyebrow. Ethan leaned back, grinning. "That's a dangerous question, Tom." "Maybe," Tom said, "but I think tonight's the night we get honest. Really honest." They all laughed. That awkward masculine laugh men use when they're not sure if something's a joke. But Tom wasn't joking. He sighed, rubbed his face, and said, "I cheated once." The air went cold. Tom's story. It was 3 years ago. Work trip to Chicago. Late night at the hotel bar. She was a colleague. New, sharp, funny. We'd had one too many drinks. It just happened. Next morning, I hated myself. I told her it was a mistake. Haven't seen her since. He looked into his glass like it might judge him. My wife doesn't know, and every time she kisses me goodnight, I think about it. It's like carrying a ghost. Silence again. Ethan broke it first. "Well, hell, guess it's my turn." Ethan's story. Mine wasn't a work trip. It was a reunion, college, old friends. Too much nostalgia, too much beer. One of my exes was there. We danced, we talked, and I don't know. It was like being 20 again. But the second it was over, I knew it was wrong. I went home and took my wife out to dinner that night. Guilt tasted like steak. He laughed bitterly. "You ever love someone so much that lying feels worse than dying?" That's how it felt. Mark nodded slowly. Luke was quiet. Then Mark said, "All right, I'll go next." Mark's story. You all know Jenna and I had a rough patch a few years ago. We'd just had our second kid. No sleep, no romance, no time. There was this woman at the gym. Nothing serious, just attention, you know? Someone who saw me, not just Dad. One night, we grabbed coffee. Then another. Then it crossed a line. I ended it before it became real. But yeah, I crossed it. He took a long sip. No one said a word. Luke looked at them, 3 men, 3 confessions, 3 guilty consciences, and smirked. "You guys are amateurs." Luke's story. Mine wasn't emotional, wasn't romantic, just stupid. Business trip to Vegas, dealers, clients, too much booze. Woke up next to a stranger, didn't even know her name. I told myself it didn't mean anything. But the truth? Every time my wife says she trusts me, I feel sick. He drained his glass and set it down. The table was silent. 4 men, 4 sins, all laid bare between the empty plates. Then Tom spoke. "You know what's funny? My wife. She actually asked me to start this conversation tonight." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" Tom laughed softly, a strange mix of guilt and irony. "She said she had a feeling one of you was cheating. Told me to bring it up casually and see who flinched." The other men froze. Mark blinked. Luke sat up straight. Ethan stared at him, wide-eyed. Then, Mark started to laugh. Not the nervous laugh from before, but a deep, helpless laugh. Ethan joined in. Then Luke. Then Tom, too. Within seconds, they were all laughing so hard that the waitress looked over, confused. The twist. When the laughter finally died down, Luke wiped his eyes and said, "That's hilarious, because guess what?" They all looked at him. "My wife told me the exact same thing." Ethan's grin faded. "Wait, what?" "Yeah," Luke said, still chuckling. "She said, next time you're with the guys, bring up cheating. See who reacts funny." Mark blinked. "No way." "Oh, absolutely," Luke said. She was dead serious. Then Ethan groaned, covering his face. "Oh my God, mine too." She said she had a gut feeling. Someone in the group wasn't loyal. Tom's jaw dropped. "You're kidding." Mark raised his hand, laughing so hard he could barely breathe. "Add one more to the list. Jenna said the same thing last week. For a full 10 seconds, the table was silent again. Then they all started laughing even harder. The realization, they laughed until tears rolled down their faces. 4 men, 4 confessions, all invented for the same reason, to smoke out a liar that didn't exist. They had just spent an hour fabricating elaborate stories of guilt, heartbreak, and remorse, all because their wives had the same idea. Ethan finally said between laughs, "So, let me get this straight. None of us actually cheated?" Tom shook his head. "Nope." Luke raised his glass. "So we're 4 loyal idiots, pretending to be scumbags, to prove to our wives that none of us are." Mark grinned. "And in doing that, we technically did lie." They all groaned, then laughed again. "We're gonna have to tell them," Ethan said, wiping his eyes. "No way," Luke said. "Let them wonder. It's poetic justice." "What, you're gonna let them think one of us confessed to cheating?" "Exactly," Luke smirked. "Let them lose sleep for once." They clinked glasses, laughter echoing over the quiet hum of the restaurant. Later that night, as they each went home, every wife was waiting, curious, half nervous. "How was dinner? What did you guys talk about?" Each man smiled the same way, a calm, mischievous grin. "Oh, nothing special," they said. "Just guy stuff." And somewhere, across 4 different houses, 4 women shared the same uneasy glance, wondering what was really said at that table.